Good afternoon, ladies, NBs and gentlemen, and welcome back to Badger Bodges, and welcome back indeed to Rusty Dagger. There's a new story that's come out for Rusty Dagger, which is Den of Rats. As always, the camera is upside down, so let's see if I can keep things in frame. But the story is Den of Rats for levels 1 to 2, again by Rob Salters, who's doing all of the table salt games at the moment. So I have set everything up for this. The game itself was released on Wednesday, I believe, and big improvement already. When you download Den of Rats from DriveThruRPG, I don't know if this applies everywhere else either, because I get mine through DriveThruRPG, it comes with a read this first kind of document, and that listed everything that you're going to need for the game, which I think is brilliant. I mentioned it in my last video that it would have been nice to have like a bestiary and just some description of what terrain you'll need before you start, so you don't have to read through the whole story, spoil it essentially, before you can then play the game. I don't know if Rob necessarily got the idea from my video or if other people have said it, but nonetheless it's a change I wanted and it's happened, so I'm happy. So over the past few days I've been trying to pull together the terrain and models to do this, and I suppose when I go through and put things down, I'll briefly describe what the terrain is as well, and yeah, the models and what I've used, because if, as you know, on Badger Bodges we like to keep things fairly cheap. I have done all of this without having to spend any new amounts of money. I have not had to buy anything new. This was made entirely with stuff I already had, even the fairly novel stuff, or it was made with rubbish. So, without further ado, let's kind of go into our character. We're using Dirk from the last game, my little rogue grafter. If you remember, last session he leveled up, so he got the Pilfer ability, which gives him one free item from the items list that is 5 wealth or less, and it's received before starting adventure or at camp. Now the good thing about Dirk is I've made him an archer. Archers cost money to run because they have to need additional arrows in quantities of 5 for 5 wealth, and so I'm just going to use that Pilfer to get himself another 5 arrows. It's kind of a nice not self-fulfilling, but virtuous circle, I guess. I can do adventures now. I can just keep my arrows up to speed. So just add those 5 arrows, and that leaves me with 16 wealth remaining at the end. Now heroes can revive for a cost of 10 plus the hero's level, so to revive Dirk would cost 12, so I don't really want to be paying that much more, but I know that vial of acid came in incredibly useful, so I'm also going to buy a vial of acid, which unfortunately only leaves me with 10, so I better hope I pick up some wealth along the way in case Dirk falls. Once again, if you hear stuff in the background, I'm in the boiling hot conservatory, so it's where the light's best, and you have to leave the door open, otherwise I will cook. So, with Dirk upgraded, I'm also assuming that Alan from the last adventure does not follow me into this adventure. I didn't see anything about heroes continuing on. He kind of felt like he was set up just for that adventure. If it's said otherwise, if I open Den of Rats and it immediately says that I can have a previous companion, then I've still got the stats for him and I've got the model, but I don't think he's going to be in play. So, let's start, shall we? As always, I shall read it, and then when we get to the challenge, we will get to the challenge. In the quaint town of Clemstead, you sleep peacefully at the town's inn. As the morning rays of sun begin to seep through the slit of the heavy curtain in your room, you are abruptly awakened by a blood-curdling scream. Wiping the sleep from your eye, you stagger over to the window and pull the curtains open. In the streets below, you see a small troop of ratmen terrorising the market area. You could let the filthy rats escape with their meagre loot, But if you were to intervene, the vendors in the market would surely pay you for the trouble of dispatching the ratmen. Expeditiously, you grab your weapon and dash out the room. Moments later, you arrive at the market, ready for a fight. You notice a few ratmen have cornered a woman and small child. So, the combat woman is to rescue the townsfolk. The woman and child are now companions, but I won't write them down because they've got a health of 4, a move of normal, and 0 stats. So let's leave it at that. As always, we need to deploy the terrain. So let me find also a D10. We need to sort me out. The deployment does not seem to be... it doesn't say anything about deployment for the rats, so I assume it's basic, but it doesn't say where the woman and child should be. And we also have random placement of obstacles, if you remember that from last time. So, just like last time, by the way, I've had to turn the camera, I've turned the whole setup round, so it's why it looks a bit different from last time. I'm going to have to adjust. And we're going to be basically playing forward. Actually, you know what? So that it makes more sense and the character's my end, we'll put this background like this. Yeah, this is the high stakes drama you wanted. You know, what way round am I going to have this? So, random placement of obstacles. Now, the obstacles I've made, let's put the first small one down. I had these tables from last time, so that's no change there. So, 3 and then 6. Perfect. Next one. 1 and then 9. Cool. Now I also built these out of beads that I had around. You can pick them up very easily. I picked them up from Hobbycraft, so I probably paid over the odds. But you can pick up any kind of assorted beads anywhere. They're just wooden, and I just painted them up like, you know, pots. I thought they made kind of good urns, so I just did that. Let's put one down. 6 and 6, so 6 and then 6, and then the next one, 1 and then 10, all the way over here. Now they wanted some low large as well, and large, if I remember my rules correctly, is bigger than big. Yes, occupies 4 spaces. So again, I just got more of these, and we can just put them over 4 like that. So let's roll for them. 6 and then 9, like that. And then 2 and 2. So 2 and then 2. Sort of put them like that. Actually, just put them, but again, we're still not clear on how to deploy the large ones, so we'll just put them, shuffle them along. I will say, actually, I'm using what I'd originally printed off, so I do apologise to Rob and Tablesort Games if, you know, he's updated them. I didn't have time to print off new ones, so we're still using the original ones that are printed off. I do apologise if there's been any fixes to other problems that I said about. The woman, who we're going to be using, this herbalist from Bad Squiddo. Love Bad Squiddo games, brilliant stuff. Row 2, column 4, she's going to be here. And then I don't have a model for a young boy, so I took the Dark Angel's Watcher, and we're just going to have to pretend that he is sort of dressed up in monk's robes, carrying books because he works for the local abbot, and, you know, child labour laws don't exist, so that's why he's carrying books for everyone. Sorry, that is the child's meant to go there. The woman is supposed to go row 3, column 5, so she's there. I say there's nothing else that I can see that would indicate where the rats should be. So the rats, this is a nice full table actually, this is quite nice, I like this, quite dense. The rats are EM4 dwarfs that I've just kind of flipped the heads around on and changed the spears a bit. Again, we were on paying no more money, buying no more stuff to do this, and I think we've done okay. So the rats are usually, the basic deployment is just along the back row. So 2, 6, 4, and then Dirk, 5. So being they are companions, I get to move them, but it will take my initiative to do that. So it's worth bearing in mind. As always, you know, I've got arrows, I've got all kinds of stuff. So oranges are going to be the ratmen, yellow going to be our hero. Shake it up. There's no positives or negatives we've got, and just going to grab a D8 because the ratmen are a D8 plus 2. So first up, orange, a ratman. Now they have a movement of normal, so they're probably going to start making their way. I mean, there's a real question here of, you know, what are the women and child in danger? You know, I suppose the ratman can attack them, and I should probably not allow that to happen. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ratman moves down. He has no other actions he can do because, you know, it's all about orthogonals, and no one's corrected me to say that orthogonal includes diagonal. So I guess we just keep doing that. Next up, ooh, another ratman. So he is also going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Not looking good for this lady here. Dirk jumped down dramatically and then achieved nothing as the last ratman. So it would cost him so much to get across this, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then the rest of the actions are going to be mine. So, first one, I think I'm going to move the lady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next move is going to be to move Dirk. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he could actually fire an arrow at this point, and I figure it's probably a good idea. These ratmen have a health of 3, so yeah, it'd take a lot of arrows to take them down. It's one of the downsides of arrows because they only do 1 wound. You know, it takes a while to arrow someone to death, but it's a good starting point if nothing else. So we are going to roll Dirk's. Oh, accidentally slide one of the tokens under the battle mat. Why don't I? Oh dear. Oh. Okay, we're going to roll Dirk's archery, which hasn't improved at all, so it's still a +1. So that is a 5 plus 2 is 7, and then +1 is 8. And theirs is a D8 plus 2, so they could easily beat this with even a decent roll. And again, 8. So that's a wasted arrow for Dirk. And did not hit either of these two. And now, Dirk's got one more move left. So let's move him up to stab this ratman. So let's roll that. Oh, that's a good one. That's his swordsmanship is now it's just 6. Oh yeah, I moved it up. Swordsmanship is now 6, so that is another. There's a +1 by itself. So yes, I remember. I moved swordsmanship up 2 last turn. So that is now an 11. So they can't beat it at all. So that is a wound on the foremost ratman. We'll kind of put it at the front to let us know it's the foremost one. Okay, back into the shuffle bag we go. Next up is another Dirk move. Well, hero move. I'm considering that the small child should probably get out of the way. I assume the kind of narrative here is that Dirk is trying to defend to give the child time to escape. That's why it's sapping the initiative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Child has run away. Oh, that's lucky. Another Dirk move. So let's see if Dirk can get a attack in. That's a 9. plus 110, that's not bad. But the ratman could match it. But he doesn't, so that's another wound on that ratman, which is good. I mean, the combat challenge is just rescue the townsfolk. So, I mean, I've read it a couple of times. Rescue the townsfolk. Do they need to move off the board? You know, it'd be helpful to have it defined how they have to do it. Because I'm pretty sure, you know, they could just run off the board. There's no thing about I have to kill them, although if you check the core rules, generally it says, you know, combat reaches its conclusion if the combat tile is clear of all enemies, and if tasks have been completed. So you kind of have to do both, and there's nothing in this that says the ratmen will, you know, retreat in any way. So I guess we just keep doing it. That was my stab. So next up, ratman, who will do this one first, the one who can face down good old. So that is a 7. Unfortunately, my brawn is currently still a -1. So we will have to see. I'm assuming I've healed up from the last session. Ooh, that's a 6. -1 is a 5, so that is a wound on Dirk, that's not good. He doesn't have many of them. Next up is Dirk, who, you know, may be able to kill this guy one last shot. Ooh, but that is only a 7, so we'll have to see. 5 plus 2 is also a 7, and it's a match, so unfortunately that ratman's still alive. This could be funny if Dirk dies in, like, just trying to save some townspeople. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go with that he's chasing the young boy. And then the next one is going to be this one at the back, who will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Back into the initiative bag we go. Take it out. It's a one of us. I'm going to move the boy off because I assume that's what the game wants. Yeah, there are some things where, you know, there's not much space to write this, and I know the plan is to go for a bigger book where they can fit more in, but sometimes things are a bit ill-defined still. But hopefully that'll improve with, you know, bigger books, and just practice with people playing and seeing, you know, what do we unfortunately find as holes, essentially. Next one is another Dirk go. So I'm going to use Dirk, otherwise he's going to really start hurting if he can't kill this guy. Oh, but that's only a 6. By sheer luck, that was a 1. You saw that I accidentally flipped it to a 9, but it was a 1. So by sheer luck, that's a ratman down. That's good. Can't argue with that. Let's see what the next initiative pull is. This ratman, so he's going to come around here, and he's in perfect time to have a good stab. So again, d8 plus 2, that's a 10, and Dirk's brawn is a -1. So this could be, God, what do I need? I need an 11 or a 12. And I do not get it, that was a 7. So he's taken another wound. I mean, he still has a healing potion from last turn, which is probably for the best. He's down to 5. Let's turn him to face. Cool. Dirk again. Yeah, that lady's kind of safe for now, so we'll try and take a stab at this guy. That is a 7. Plus 1, 8. Not great. Oh, that's a d10, so that's not going to do anyone any good. 4 plus 2 is 6, so that is a wound on this guy. We'll move the wound tracker over here. I kind of picked that up by accident last turn, like trying to keep track of wounds, but being people end up fairly, because you can tell where they're spaced out, it's actually works surprisingly well. Unfortunately, that's all of the Dirk tokens, so we'll do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we will do the last one, which can be this rat attacking Dirk. So D8 plus 2, that's an 8. Unlikely that Dirk will be able to defend. Nope, that is merely a 6 minus 1 is 5, so that's another wound. This could be the end of Dirk, just in this single fight. Low brawn really hurts you in this game. Especially when you haven't had a chance to pick up any companions. Last time I could spread out my damage. I feel like that woman's just going to have to stand there and get stabbed a little bit, which seems somewhat against the spirit of the game, but Dirk needs all the initiative he can to try and kill this guy. But unfortunately he's going to try and... They're going to go first. We'll do this ratman first. That's a 7. But he manages to block that for once. Well done. You managed to block a single slash in your life, Dirk. Let's see what's next. It's a Dirk. So yeah, he's going to have to try and kill this guy before this guy kills him, basically. That's a 7 plus 1. That's an 8. And there's no defense from that ratman, so another one down. I like how the model I've used for Dirk is actually slightly shorter than a ratman. That's how squat he is. Next in the initiative is another ratman who is going to move here and unfortunately take a stab at this woman because there's not really much I can do about it. Her stats are 0. And a 0 is a -2 modifier. So she might be able to defend. She's not completely defenseless, but yeah, I mean, that's a 9. Unbelievably, she rolled a 10. So I'm imagining she's swinging this big bag of, vegetables she's picked up and just swung it at this guy to defend herself. I'm not going to try and have her fight. I'll just have her defend herself. But that was an impressive 2 badgers. This guy's going to come back and strike at Dirk again. It's only a 3, Dirk. Come on. Yeah. That's a lucky break. So the next 2 are going to be Dirk, and as I say, unfortunately, that woman's going to kind of have to handle it, basically, and deal with it. Sorry. Dirk is a little occupied trying to be only on half his wounds. 7, that's an 8. And there's only a 6 defense, so that is that ratman dead. And that was his combat attack, so he could actually move. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's done all that on just that initiative token. And then on his last initiative token, move down and have another stab at this guy. Ooh, and rolls a measly 5, which is immediately blocked by this ratman. The last one left. Okay. Put the initiative back in. We've now got a woman who is doing better at defending herself than Dirk does, for a random townswoman. So, first up, unfortunately, is the ratman, who I think, seeing the larger threat of Dirk, is going to try and take an attack. Ooh, that's a 9. It's unlikely that Dirk will defend against this. Nope, that's merely an 8. So that's another wound. Dirk is below half wounds. That's not good. Not a good start to the whole mission. Next up is Dirk. Ooh, that's a 7. Oh, but it does go through, fortunately. So put a wound marker there. Okay. Next bag. It's another yellow. So that's Dirk again. Come on, buddy, you need some good rolls here. That is a 12, so it can't beat it. It's another wound. Now, if we're really lucky, the next initiative draw will be Dirk. If we're not, we're about to get stabbed again. It is unfortunately them, so that's a 7. And that's a measly 3 from Dirk, so he has taken 5 wounds in this encounter. Not great, is it? So the next up is... Oh, we've got 2 left. Who could it be? Dirk! Come on, buddy. You're going to have to do this, or it could be curtains for you. Well, that's an 8, 9. 9's not bad. And it's a 7, so we managed to kill the ratman. Well, the conclusion is the ratman, realising they're outmatched, grab whatever loot they can and run off. So, good stuff. The hero receives a revive potion. Oh, thank God. Revive potion. 10 wealth. Use this item in camp. Revive a model for free. Do we have any camps? Yes, there is a camp. Fantastic. So, it's good. I'll say the good thing is, because I had the whole bestiary, I don't actually know how you say it, I didn't have to read through the story. So I don't know any of this, which is really good. Conveniently arriving late, the town mayor and 2 shabby guards arrive at the scene. "What have you done, stranger?" the mayor shouts at you. Puzzled, you ask the mayor what he means by that. "We have a deal with those brigands. We let them take what they want. They don't burn out onto the ground," the mayor says, sighing. "Some deal," you reply sarcastically. Yeah, well done, Dirk. Be sarcastic. That's a terrible deal. I don't have like a cowardly mayor model, but I don't need one. You announce to the pathetic mayor and the townsfolk that you will rid the town of the ratmen once and for all, for a small fee. "I need volunteers," you announce. You look at the crowd to see who will step forward. Okay, so we have a narrative challenge, which is to ask for volunteers, which is a challenge roll of 10 plus guile. Now, my guile is 3, so it's actually a -1 modifier. So the chances of me making this are pretty poor, which is a shame because we could get a nice cowardly guard out of it. And I have already picked out a model. This is my Aethelflaed model from Bad Squiddo, but I get the feeling we're not going to get him. No, that is a 5. Too ashamed, the people look away. Goodbye. If the woman was not defeated in the previous combat challenge, she remains a companion and gains the ability Generous. The child leaves your party. Good, I'm not bringing a child on like a death march. So, she has the ability Generous. Generous. The model will leave your hero any item in possession if they leave the party. Okay, I guess maybe she'll pick something up later, because as we've said before, there doesn't seem to be any way of like them receiving items. Let me just check. Nope. She has no nothing. All of her abilities are 0, which means she has -2 for absolutely everything. But we have this townswoman with us, which, you know, I guess I hate to say it, meat shield. Probably not the best idea to take Dirk. What shall we call her? We'll call her Marguerite. Like Margaret, but it's fantasy. And we know all her stuff. She's got 4 health and nothing else. She's on 0 on everything. The young woman you aided earlier pushes through the crowd, eager to help. "My name is Jill." Oh, her name's Jill. Sorry. Your name is not Marguerite anymore. Your name has been changed to Jill. Literally the next page. "My name is Jill. I know where the ratmen's camp is located. I can take you to it," she says boldly. With that, you set off to ambush the ratmen. As the party, just 2 of us. I should get a pet wolf. The young woman turns to you and gives you a heartfelt thanks. "I don't think anyone else from the town would have stepped in to save us. My brother and I mean, you're very honourable." Oh. I mean, I used a fairly old, older looking model, so your brother is clearly from a different generation. To hide your relatedness, you merely nod a welcome. Oh, Dirk, you're so coy. After some time, you finally reach the ratmen's camp. The camp seems unmanned, telling you this is only an outpost. Further ahead, you see a cave opening. No doubt this is where they hoard the loot. Ooh. Ooh, now this is interesting. This isn't going to be a fight. This is a narrative challenge. So, oh, there's paint all over my hand. Like I say, I made all these in a few days, so I'm covered in paint. So, you quietly take out the sentries. It is a challenge roll of 8 plus agility or survival. Now, I'd say I'm good at these, but I'm actually not. My agility is 4, and my survival is also 4. So it doesn't matter what happens. I have a modifier of nothing. This is just a flat roll. Dirk is not very good at this whole, guile rogue hero. His guile is -1. That's a 3. Failed. Just as you prepare to strike, a ratman you didn't see rounds the corner and spots you. Gain 1 disadvantage in the first combat round of the next combat challenge. After dealing with the sentries, So I've taken them out. It doesn't matter, I've taken them out, but now I've got disadvantage in the next combat challenge. But there doesn't seem to be any other kind of challenge, so I guess it just wore me out doing it. After dealing with the sentries, you'll make your way into the cave opening. You notice right away items from the town lining the walls of the cave, and it's put up the little camp symbol. So if we find what happens when you camp. Camp. When the camp's in present, before you continue the adventure, you're allowed to do any of the following. Trade items between models, use items and revive companions that have been defeated in the current adventure. Any number of items can be left at camp free up to your model's possession space. Items carry over from adventure to adventure, but if you lose an adventure, all models die. All items at camp are lost. So, this is sort of I can only hold 5 items, but you can trade items between models, use items, and revive companions. That's it. I don't really trust her with the vial of acid or my healing potion, so unfortunately she's just going to have to kind of go in with nothing. It would have been nice if maybe there was something in the camp we could do, but oh well. Just ahead of you, you see ratmen pulling something seemingly larger than them by rope. But it's just out of your line of sight. Staying close to the walls to maintain the element of surprise, you spring your attack, but are startled by the sight of a were-rat. Okay, so were-rat was it was a Northern Rabble model, but I forget the maker. Just with a gnoll head, goblin feet. I've got some old goblin riders that I don't have the mounts for, so I just use their feet for things. And some ghoul hands. I assumed that the were-rat was going to be the young boy bit by a were-rat or something, so I kind of gave him similar clothes, but clearly that's not the case. But oh well. So we've got Dirk and the lady, and now we've got another combat system, combat challenge. What we don't have is advantage, we have disadvantage, so they get an extra one of these. Ratmen handlers, who aren't actually that great. It would have been nice to know that I also need crap ratmen, because I'm going to have to use the same models again. I would have made some with less spears, but I don't want to crack their spears off. The were-rat looks pretty awful. It has the ability Fangs and Claws. If this model's melee attack deals a wound, roll a d4. On a result of 4, deal the original target of the melee attack 1 additional wound. Well, we'll get the d4 ready, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. And defeat the were-rat. Once the were-rat is defeated, the ratmen will flee. Okay, good to know. Random placement. Again, this is in the cave. So, we want 4 small tall which means a pillar basically. Now I made these out of the read this said make stalagmites. I made this out of hot glue, just dribbled down a bamboo's, like a skewer. It didn't go great. It looks more like an ooze mountain than a stalagmite, but it'll have to do. One big low and two small low, which are going to have to be just these piles of shields that I made from EM4 shields, because they're very cheap shields. Right, let's do the 4 small tools first. So that's a 5 and a 7. It says random placement, so that's one there. A 4 and a 5, so you're going there. Ooh, this is going to be a tightly packed battle. A 3 and a 4, so it's going there. And a 2 and a 7 to go there. Now we'll do the big low. A 5 and a 4, so it's kind of go there. It's proper blocked off that bit. And then a 2 and a 2 for one of the small lows. 2 and a 2, 2, 2, gonna go there. And a 1 and a 2, so it's gonna go there. Gotta say, they're fairly nicely busy boards in terms of terrain, even if the main thing terrain does is just, sometimes it's harder to shoot over. It doesn't do much. Cool. Standard deployment for everyone. So 4 for the were-rat. 3 for one of his helpers. 3 again. So I guess re-roll. 3 again. 3 again. It's just 3 again. 1. Weighted dice, but for a really crap number. I'm going to be on 3, what Dirk is, and the useless companion is going to be on 1. It's a very difficult guile check, especially for a level 1 to 2. Right, the were-rat has 6 health, move normal. Its AD is D8 plus D6, so let's get one of those aside for it. This is going to be a tricky fight, especially as I have disadvantage for this first turn. But first turn does go to me nonetheless. So I'm going to try and get it so that essentially we can draw an uninterrupted line of sight towards the were-rat and loose off one of my arrows. That is a 6. That is probably not going to cut it against the were-rat. No, they roll a 9. So that's 2 wasted arrows this entire game. Next is going to be the were-rat. 4, who's bounding down but can't really do anything else. Next can be Dirk again if he wants. I'm slightly worried because there's going to be more enemies. He's going to have to. I think he's going to have to fire an arrow and take his health potion because he's down to not many wounds. So take the health potion. Seems good to me. And then fire another arrow, and so we're down to just 2 arrows. That's better though. That is a good old 9. I don't know if you can see it because you've got the stalagmites in the way, or the goo piles. But unfortunately, the were-rat also rolls a 9, so blocks it. I get the feeling this might be the end of Dirk, and if he does, we'll end there and figure out revives and stuff. We can revive for free. So next up, We've got to move the handlers. The handlers, normal move, health free, d6 plus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They can kind of slide in there. The bases of these things are slightly bigger. Dirk again. He's just going to have to charge in. He's got really no other choice. This guy needs to die. So, attack. That's a mere 7 plus 1 is 8. And the were-rat gets a 9, so still nothing. Yeah, I get the feeling we're going to die here. So there we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And... oh, because they've got disadvantages, they've got another one. So I use the were-rat. So it finally gets to attack. It rolls a 7. And Dirk rolls a measly 3. So that is a wound on Dirk. Okay, take the advantage token away, put it back, or disadvantage I suppose because it's the enemy. Let's go again. Dirk, he's just going to focus everything on trying to kill this damn were-rat. That's a 7, it's probably going to beat that, right? Oh, he only rolls a 6, so that is 1 wound on the were-rat after all of that. I mean, we do have an acid, but I'm probably going to need that later. And next up, Dirk again. So he's just going to take another swing. 7 plus 1 is 8. Could be enough. Yep, that's a 6. So that's another attack on the were-rat. And what could be next? Oh, Dirk again. Oh, we can but hope. Blimey, okay, that's an 11. That's not bad. And that is merely a 9. So that is somehow the were-rat down to half health in just 3 successful attacks. But unfortunately, it's now its go. So the were-rat is going to roll. That's a 7. Dirk might be able to save against that. Just luck, pure luck. Can you see that? Yeah. That is a 12, which is a natural success. So we are managing to survive, just. So I have to balance out the attacks. So now the handler's going to come around the side and just roll a d6 plus 2. They're not very good at this, which is great news for me. 5 plus 2 though, that's a 7. That's... Dirk takes a wound from the handler. He's down to just 5 wounds. And now this guy's also going to come around the side and roll d6 plus 2. So that's a 5. Dirk might be able to save against that. Yep, just 6. Well, he's got no healing potions left and he's on 5 wounds. So that was going to be that one. And yeah, I knew there was only enough left. Dirk, old body, I think you're going down. Yep, because it's the were-rat's go. I don't think our luck can hold for that much longer. That is an 8, which statistically is not on your side, Dirk. That is an 8 minus 1, so he's up to 6 wounds. Literally 1 more wound and he's going down. And next up is one of the handlers, d6 plus 2. That's a 5. Come on, Dirk. Yep, he saves that at least. Next up, Dirk's go. Yeah, she's just kind of stuck there, to be honest. Like, there's not much she can do. Dirk rolls a 7 plus 1 is 8 against the were-rat, who rolls a 4, so he is injured. We just need 2 more successful hits on him, which, you know, easier said than done. Dirk again. Natural success. That's just a wound. Like, that's... Didn't get any natural successes last turn, but thank God for being the protagonist, eh? And next up, Dirk again. Oh, but that's not good. That is a 5. You really needed to end it in this round, buddy. Yeah, because that is a 9. I get the feeling we're gonna die. I'm slightly worried, but there's the phrase chain lightning and tentacle grab at the back of this. Okay. And, well, that last ratman's going to take a stab at Dirk. D6 plus 2. He rolls a 5. Dirk rolls to defend. He's fine. Oh dear, this is coming down to the wire. I feel like I should probably have spent my wealth on more health potions. Rather than worrying about reviving when I couldn't do it, I should just bought more health potions. Chance to everything, just buy more health potions and more arrows. Dirk! Come on, boy. Come on, my lad. Well, that's not bad. That's an 8. Which, unfortunately, the were-rat rolled. You got another chance here, Dirk. It's not bad. That is an 11. Which the were-rat doesn't roll. Oh, it dies. And the handlers run off without him. Once the were-rat is defeated, the ratman will flee. Conclusion. As the heaping mass of the were-rat lies lifeless on the cave floor, the other ratmen scamper off deeper into the cave. Hero receives 5 wealth. Oh, great, I'm up to 15 wealth. If only I could stop and actually buy some health potions. Hot on the heels of the fleeing ratmen. Why? Go home. Chill out. Why are we going into this crazy den of den craziness? We have 1 wound left. Hot on the heels of the fleeing ratman, you come into a wide chamber with a crude throne sitting in the centre of it. On the throne sits a ratman with a flowing ragged robe. Mistake you make facing Masmar. Die you will, the robed ratman says in a vulgar common tongue. Challenge. Masmar must be stopped. Right. We have so we have a throne, which is a tall, large, row 4, column 6. Now it says that Masmar was on the throne, but then it says deployment basic, but I feel like Masmar should be on his throne. There you go. Again, that's just a dwarf spearman that I've modified, and then random placement of the others, I guess, because it doesn't say where. So 6 and a 6. Like, I feel like this is optimistic, trying to actually place things. 6 and a 6, and then what are you? A 4 and a 6. Considering I'm probably about to die very quickly. 2 and 5. Like I say, these are just shields from EM4, and then this weapon rack is just the tooths of a comb and some wood. 10 and 3, so that's probably not going to matter over there. Right, let's deploy and die almost straight away. I mean, there's always one of the problem with games where you're on like 1 health and you're like, well, I'm just going to die. Like, I know this is not going to go well. Sort of what's the pointness can seep in a little bit. I mean, I suppose I could use the woman with no abilities. She's like, I will rescue. She's, you know what? That's just going to have to be what it is. She's going to have to be the one who charges in because otherwise, Dirk's going to die. Could really have done with that townsman, Dirk, but no. But no. Okay. There's no advantages or anything, so put it in. Yeah. The ability of him is Chain Lightning. Range 5, this attack also targets a player's model that is within 3 spaces of its target. So basically spread out. First up is, unfortunately, Masmar. And we are within 3 spaces, so he's going to do some Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, which I guess is just his usual thing, so d6 plus 3. That's a 4, so I've got to defend against it. It doesn't... It's a ranged one, so I'm guessing agility, which for me is just flat. Which we beat. And then... Yeah, also targets models within 3 spaces of its target, so it is going to also target. Unfortunately, our lady here who manages to dodge it as well, so she's doing good. She's just going to go up and hit Masmar with... Oh, 1, 2... Yeah, she's actually in range. She's going to hit Masmar with her basket. Because I'm so injured. Wow. So that's an 8. Because she's -2. But, yeah, this guy's not that good. Unfortunately, that's a 7. So she actually manages to beat him with the basket. You're the real MVP, Jill. Next up, Jill again. Yeah, we'll do a bit more Jill, see if she can get Masmar down. It's not so good, that's a 5. And that's also a 6, so he easily blocks it. You were doing so well. Next up. Oh, us again now. Do I want to be firing one of my remaining arrows? I mean, unfortunately, I can literally see that on the next page there is something worse. Spoilers, I guess. Jill. There is a thing here about place Masmar adjacent to the throne in the other combat channel, so I'm guessing Masmar's meant to be here. Maybe that's just a typo. Come on, Jill. That's not bad. That is a 9. Okay. You're doing good, Jill. Top-notch fighting here. Dirk's just like, I'm too wounded. I'm too ill. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other one is going to be doing a... Do they have a bow? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Come on, Jill. You the real MVP. Oh, it's your go. You can do this. You really can't. That's a 5. -2 is harsh. And that is a 6. Sorry. Oh, do we want Jill to go again, or do we want Dirk to try and do something? Oh. Dirk's got arrows, but shoot. You know what? Dirk's going to try and shoot one of these with an arrow, start to get them down. Oh, natural success. Wonderful. So that is an arrow to the face, but knock off. So down to just 1 arrow. But I do have the vial of acid. Next up, it's going to be this guy. He's going to attack the thing in front of him. Range cannot actually be used if you're in close combat. I remember that from the rules. So it's going to have to be a slap. Still d6 plus 3. And he rolled a 6. So that's a 9. So this is going to be a very lucky roll from Jill. Which it isn't. So Jill has taken a wound. She's down to 3. Come on, you can do it, Jill. Oh, no, unfortunately it's them again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one is them again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, come on. Luck of the draw. Luck of the draw, Jill. It's not bad. That's a 9. Minus 2 is a 7. D6 plus 3 might still hit. Nope, that is as good as he can get. That is a 9, unfortunately. This is not going to end well, I think. He's going to hit Jill again. D6 plus 3. That is a 7. Jill is on a minus 2. But she rolled a 12. So she manages to block that. That's good, even though that was only a 10. Next up. Come on, Jill. We believe in you, Jill. Oh, that's a 5. And he blocks it again. Ah, dear. Alright, Dirk should probably start working on these guys. So he's going to move up and take a punt. That's a 7. They are D8 plus 2. So that's a 5. That is also a 7. So unfortunately nothing. Ooh. Nah, he's going to take another punt at this guy. That is 7 again. And that is a 1. So he takes another wound. And next up. These guys. So he's done his thing. He's going to do an attack then. D8 plus 2. That's only a 4. Come on, Dirk. My God, man. That's it. That's Dirk gone. What happens when the hero dies? You remove from the battle tile immediately. I mean, it's all up to you, Jill. This is it. This is the end. He's going to roll D8 plus 2. That's a 6. That's another wound on Jill. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I mean, we have a revive potion, but it's not clear. Well, it is kind of clear that it used this item in camp. We don't have. There's no camp. So I think this is just going to be the end. Put the initiative bag back in. Although if Jill can pull this off by sheer luck, I mean, she's then got to defeat a lot worse. Okay, this guy can again only slap Jill. It's doable. She can defend against that. Oh, I don't think she can. No, that is a 4 from Jill, which is a minus 2. He was a 1 plus 3, which is a 4, so that was another wound against Jill. And then what's next? This is not good. D8 plus 2. He rolls a 5. Jill rolls a 7 minus 2 is 5, so she blocks from that guy, the guy behind her. Oh, she gets a chance to hit this guy. Another 12. She's doing her best, bless her. Yeah, that's another wound on this guy. Next up is going to be this guy, who actually can't really get in combat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to make his way around. Next move, Jill. Come on. 6 minus 2 is 4. But oh no, he blocks it because it's a 4 and 4 matches. And then the last initiative is Jill, who rolls another 12, so that's a 10, and freaking kills this guy. He's gone. She can turn to face this guy. I mean, let's let's take a moment for Jill for beating to death a ratman wizard with nothing but a basket of vegetables and, you know, a pair of shears. You know, gotta respect that. Gotta respect that. Put the initiative back in. But she is also now down to 1 wound. Oh, but she's got to go, and if we know one thing about Jill, she is determined. And go! 7 minus 2 is 5, and a d8 plus 2 probably is 5. Blocks it. Next up, Jill again. 6 minus 2 is 4. That's an easy block from this guy. She's clearly tired out from beating to death a ratman wizard. Oh, why am I even rolling? Oh, that's her defense, which is a 1. And that is Jill dead. That's it. That's the end of Dirk's adventure, I guess, because he said to the mayor, "Oh, you're so stupid, I should go kill all these rats for you." Well, this is why we don't go out killing all the rats, because when we go, everyone dies. Right. Thoughts from this? Well, thought number 1. Oh, crap. Everyone's dead. Yeah, it's tricky with games like these, because you want to spread out, like... I mean, I put as much as you could into combat and a fair amount into health. Maybe I should have put it up to 9. So I could have taken more. But to be honest, the thing that would have helped there would have been getting that cowardly companion. By the way, the rule was coward. If your hero is within 3 spaces of this model and receives a wound, this model will immediately move 2 spaces back to the first column. If this model is in the first column when the hero receives the wound, it will leave the combat challenge. Yeah, I suppose the thing is, like most games like this, you got to buy a lot of health potions. There's not really any other word for it. I've got a revive potion, so possibly Dirk can come back. Well, he can come back because he's got the wealth, actually. So his wealth is 15. So he can kind of bring himself back just like that. Your hero revives automatically after a challenge at half its starting health at a cost of 10 plus the hero's level. So that he's costing 12. So he's not dead. But then it's not kind of clear, like, what do I do now? Do I go back into the challenge at half my health? Do I use the revive potion to get back up? Because the revive potion says to use it at camp. It's not clear sort of how a revive will, you know, help you if you're not ever going to make it to camp. And maybe that's intentional. Maybe the intention is, look, you are dead. I'm going to make the decision that, seeing as I can come back by taking out the wealth, I've dropped my wealth down to 3, and he's going to come back with just, you know, back to the deployment zone with just 4 health, 4 wounds remaining. Does it say round up or down? Oh no, rounded down, so he's going to be down to 3 health because he starts at 7. And let's just see if Dirk can finish this off, as is, I suppose. But I'm still not hopeful for him, to be honest. He's only got 1 arrow left and not much else. So we'll see if Dirk can finish this, or if he also then dies again, and then he's going to be out of wealth, so he will be dead for good. But reading the rules are basically as nice as I can for myself, I suppose, is what's going on here. But there are some things that do need to be cleared up, which, you know, hopefully they will be cleared up once maybe the rulebook can be expanded and be a bit longer, and also like a bit of playtesting with and stuff we're doing here. So let us see. Let's see if we can kill these guys first of all. Now, reading just on it seems like the conclusion is more about what happens to Masmar, the little rat rat guy. But I have still got to kill these guys apparently, so let's get on that. I'm going to fire my last arrow at this rat man here in the back after he's killed Jill. That's what revived Dirk. He magically gave money to God because he saw Jill went down. Oh, but that is merely a 7. Where did I put that to D8? Here we are. D8 plus 2. 7. A waste of his final arrow. But that's it. He's going to have to now... wait, why did I just do Dirk? Like, initiative order, Mike. You can't just do that. Oh, well. We'll put one down as if it was Dirk. That's a mistake. That's just me getting back into the swing of playing the game. Next one is them. Whoop, whoop. He's going to take a strike. That's a full-on 10, so very unlikely that Dirk will defend against this. Nope, that's another wound. So this is probably going to be... He come back, saw Jill died, decided to resurrect to fight for her, memory, and is just going to get killed again. So swordsmanship. That's a whole 4. And this guy rolled a 9, so that's nothing. Oh, he's got another go though. That's a 9. This guy rolled nothing, so that's a wound on him. But unfortunately, it's going to be now this guy's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's got enough action to attack Dirk. 4. Blimey. Dirk rolls a 4. Fortunately, that's enough to block. And then either of them again. D8 plus 2. That's another wound on Dirk. He's down. He's up to 5 wounds out of 7 because he rolled a snake eyes. Well, at least you know I'm not cheating. Snake eyes. Put the initiative back in. Oh, actually, I just realised I've made a mistake. It said having him on half wounds, so technically he's taken an extra wound. He's back down to having 1 wound. Dramatic reappearance here from Dirk. Well done. Oh, he's got to go. He's going to try and kill this guy. He rolls an 8. Oh, this guy's dead at least. 1 guy down. Why don't you go attack the ratmen? Because this is what happens, Dirk. You get murdered. That's a 9. And that's Dirk dead again. Well, there you go. This last ratman survives. What would have happened? Yeah, the ratman put up a good fight, but they don't match for a skilled weapon. Well, clearly they were, because they stabbed me to death. You would have received a magic robe. Every time you're at camp, you can try and identify it with a roll of arcane plus 10. 10 plus. Well, that would have been funny, because I never would have been able to actually wear it. Because my arcane is -2. Masmar falls back on his throne with one last trick. He transforms into a tentacle monster. Which I won't read the rest of that, so we might try and redo this. I probably won't redo it on camera though. And that would have been my tentacle monster, which is made out of pasta. Because again, we're not spending money. You can make things out of pasta, it's fine. So, that's it. That's the end of Dirk. Dirk is dead, very dead. Even with a revive potion, because it's not clear how to use it. He's been killed by not being able to understand the mechanics of the game. But, oh well, what are you going to do? I think, like a lot of this, like the Spire of the Golem, for instance, would have been so much harder without Allendale. This was incredibly hard without, the town guard to back us up. I mean, Jill did an excellent job, for a statistically kind of crazy job, and killed this guy, who apparently would have come back as a tentacle monster anyway. I think there's a few things that could have been clearer. One thing would have been the rescue of the townsfolk. Like, what I thought I had to kill them completely. The rules seem to say I have to kill them completely. And so that turned into quite a slog, which maybe would have been easier if it was clearer that there was another escape. Yeah, I think I've said them as we go through, and hopefully when this comes out in like a bigger form, a lot of this ambiguity will be cleared up, and the ambiguity of when can you use certain items should be cleared up then as well. Just because table salt games will have more room to put this in, and also I've written games before, and you don't realise the implications of what you're saying until someone plays it, who isn't you and isn't like mentally filling the gaps that you are. So it should be interesting. As always, it's got places to grow. One good thing, absolutely, about this is it's challenging me to make more stuff. More terrain, more characters. I didn't think I'd ever need a were-rat, or even these ratty guys who, if you saw them on Badger Bodges, were quite popular, these guys. The fact that I could turn dwarfs into rats, or drats as I'm calling them, gave me an excuse to use this herbalist model I just have sitting around. Had me make these, which don't look overly good, to be honest, and also I burnt my hand making them, so maybe that's less of a good story. But all of this stuff, these piles of shields to count as loot tokens, is one thing I will absolutely say about this, is it's really encouraging me to make more little bits of terrain, which I'm really happy about. And because it's me and it's Badger Bodges, we're trying to make them for cheap, and that means I can show you how to make this kind of terrain for cheap. And tentacle monsters out of pasta. I don't even know what kind of pasta this is. I just have a box of it because it looked like it would be good for tentacle monsters, so I had it around for that very purpose. Right, well, Dirk's dead, proper dead, unless Rob messages me and says, actually no, you could have used the revive potion, then he can come back and die again in some kind of horrific cautionary tale. Jill's dead. Sorry, Jill, you put up a really good fight. The townsfolk are not any more safe from the rats than they were to begin with, and all in all, a complete failure, but at least we had fun failing. That's pretty much it. Look forward to hearing any feedback on things I could have done differently in this. Look forward to maybe hearing even from Table Salt Games to see what I've got wrong and what might change. And yeah, hope you enjoyed watching everyone fail horrendously and die. So it's a couple of days later. I spoke to Rob of Table Salt Games and asked him, can you bring companions between campaigns? And he said, yes, you can. So this time we did bring along Allendale. We still failed to recruit the town guardsman, but that's a very hard role. And obviously we also had Jill and we had Dirk. Now, some truly, truly horrendous roles. Some of them, Dirk's not that great a character, but also just real bad luck meant that we died even earlier this time, even with Allendale's help. So I think, given that Dirk has had 2 chances at life, he died in the original campaign when I was running it, and now he's died when I've tried to do it with what I think are the best interpretation of the rules. I think it's curtains for Dirk. He has truly, truly perished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a new character, hopefully a better one. I'm going to play through Spire of the Golem and Den of Rats sort of in my own time, and then it'll be this character that we bring into the 3rd adventure whenever that comes out. I think that's the best way of doing it, because I don't want you to have to see me run through the 2 campaigns again. And we will just see how that goes, and we'll see if we then survive the 3rd adventure. Who knows, it might take me making multiple characters and playing through Den of Rats again and again to finally get one who survives. That's all for now, and I shall see you all later.